Good morning, all. Welcome to the lecture series on application development using Python. Module 1, lecture number 2. Content covered in this lecture are entering expression into interactive shell, math operators from highest to lowest precedence, and data types such as int, float, string. Next, string concatenation and replication. So finally, variable name. So at the end of this lecture, student will have a better understanding of how to make a conversation with interpreter, Python data types, and string concatenation and replication. The concept which we are going to study in this lecture will be depends upon Bloom's taxonomy level 2, which is understanding. Let us start with the first topic, entering expression into the interactive shell. To make with the interaction with the interactive shell, we have so many tools. So among those tools, so whenever we are going to install Anaconda software, so we are going to get two tools. In that, first one is Jupyter Notebook. Let us see how to start and how to make use of Jupyter Notebook. So here we are starting Jupyter Notebook. So when we start Jupyter Notebook, so this window will appear in browser. And once we get this window, here you're supposed to click the version of interpreter. Okay, here we want to use Python 3 interpreter, so we have to click on Python 3. So after that we are going to get this prompt. So here we are making interaction with interpreter. So we are studying a concept called entering an expression into interactive shell. So this act like an interactive shell. This is one way. In another way, we can make an interaction with interpreter in a Anaconda PowerShell prompt. Once you get this command prompt, so here you supposed to type a command called IPython. Expansion of IPython is interactive Python. So here also we can make interaction with interpreter. So here we have to enter some expression like 3 into 3. So immediately it is going to give answer as 3 into 3, 9. Similarly here also in the Jupyter notebook. So 3 into 3. So after typing expression, we supposed to uh, press shift enter in order to get the output. So for this in one, so for this we call it as cell. Okay, in a cell we supposed to write the instructions. So corresponding output will be given by interpreter. As we know, Python runs in interpretive mode. That means statements are going to execute one after the another. Now, so here also same thing, 2 plus 2, we have got 4. So after this represent, okay, this prompt represent. So interpreter is expecting some input from the user. So here also we have observed the same thing. So here also in, okay, this is advanced version. In old version we are going to get the prompt. Okay, so three times greater than symbol. That means interpreter is expecting some input from user. So here also same thing. This is advanced version compared to this one. So in means now interpreter is expecting some input from user. So whatever the instruction you are going to give, so corresponding output it is going to give. For a moment, assume that you want to execute. Okay, you want to execute or you want to print a message. Hello. So here you are not supposed to press shift enter. You are just supposed to enter just enter. But in case of Jupyter notebook, in order to execute a particular cell, you supposed to press shift enter. So this is how we can execute different expression in interactive shell. And already we know the basic definition of a expression. Expression is nothing but it is a combination of operator and operand. And what operator specifies what operation to be performed on operand. Here plus represent on these two operand we should perform addition. And one more thing we have to remember. So always expressions will be evaluated to a single value. That means 2 plus 2 is evaluated down to a single value, which is 4. And here we have not given anything. Just we have entered only one operand. On that case, we are going to get output as 2. Here also same thing. So here we have given 2, we have got 2, here also we have given just only one operand. On that case, we have not mentioned any operation. On that case, it will give output as 8. Now, math operators from highest to lowest precedence. So in this table, we have listed few operators. So for this operator, we call it as exponent operator. It works similar to 2 raised to 3. So 2 star star 3. It is equal to 2 raised to 3. Let us see. 2 star star 3. So here also we have got the output as 8. So here also same thing. So 2 raised to 3. Similarly, so this we call it as remainder operator. So remainder modulus operator. So the result of modulus operator will be remainder. So 22 mod 8. 22 mod 8 will get a remainder as 6. So 8 ones are 8, 8 twos are 16. So 60, 22 minus 16. So remaining number that is remainder is 6. Similarly, so for this we call it as fluid coefficient. Okay. So here it is going to fluid division. For this we call it a double front slash. For this we call it an integer division or fluid division. So here it is going to give coefficient. Now division, multiplication, subtraction, addition. These things we know. Okay. So these are the two special operators which are available in Python. So first one was exponent, and second one was float division or integer division. And coming to order of operators, order of operations or precedence. So exponent, okay, is having higher precedence compared to these two, and these operators are having higher precedence compared to these arithmetic operations. So the exponent operator is evaluated first. The exponent operator is evaluated first, then so star, division, floor division, and modulus operators are going to evaluate next. And these are going to evaluate from left to right. Okay. And plus and minus operators are evaluated last because they are having least precedence. And one more thing we have to remember, so whenever we are going to use parenthesis, whatever the expression we have included parenthesis, that has to evaluate first. So we can say parenthesis will be having more precedence compared to even exponent also. So here we have executed few expressions. So 2 plus 3 into 6. Okay, when you are evaluating, so this will be evaluated first. So 6 into 3, 18, 18 plus 2, 20. But in this case, okay, so when we have applied parenthesis, so it will be having higher precedence. On that case, what happens? 2 plus 3, so 2 plus 3 become 5, 5 into 6, so that is 30. Similarly, these expressions are going to evaluate. Lastly, we have considered one more expression. Let us see how this expression is going to evaluate. So whenever we are going to have parenthesis, parenthesis will evaluate from left to right. So here first expression is going to evaluate 5 minus 1, it becomes 4. So after that, inside this parenthesis, 7 plus 1, that becomes 8. Next 3 minus 1, that becomes 2. Now, so this is going to evaluate first. Okay. So 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2, we are going to get 4.0. And by default, so division operation, whatever the answer we are going to get, whatever the result we are going to get, that will be in the form of float. That thing you have to remember. By default, Python will give output in float only. Again 4 plus 4. So finally we have got output as 60. This is how Python mathematical, this is how Python interpreter is going to evaluate expressions. And these rules for putting operators and values together to form expressions are a fundamental part of Python programming language, just like grammar rules that help us to communicate. Let us take one simple example here. This is a grammatically correct English sentence. So this is the first statement. Second statement, same thing we have written here. This grammatically is a sentence not English correct. The second line is very difficult to pass because it does not follow the rules. Okay. So here in second sentence we have not followed the rules of English. Similarly, whenever we are going to violate the rules, on that case interpreter is going to give error. So here we are supposed to provide two operands for plus operator, but we have provided only one. On that case it is going to give error. Here also we have missed one operand, because of that reason here it has given the error. So whenever we are going to mention specific expression, when we are going to follow the rules, on that case interpreter is going to give error. Now let us start studying Python data types. So Python is having int, float, string data type, and the example for integer data are -2, -1. All negative numbers and all positive numbers are comes under integer, and floating point number again -1.25, -1.0. Some negative numbers with fractional part and even positive number with fractional part all comes under a data type called floating point numbers. And strings, when we write something within quotes, so that will be considered as a string. It may contain only one character, or it may contain two character or more than one character. So 11 space cats, even it's possible for us to have a space within string values. Okay, so whatever we include within quotes, that will be assumed it as a string. That thing we have to remember. So moving to next concept, string concatenation and replication. String concatenation and replication. Let us take one simple example here. Otherwise, we will take what they have taken here. So first, alias plus. So here, usually what plus does, it will perform addition. But when first and second operation operands both are string, on that case plus perform concatenation operation. So here we have got the output as alias both. I will repeat once again. Whenever we are going to provide two operands for plus as a string, on that case it is going to perform string concatenation. In other example, here first operand is a string, second argument is integer. Okay, so on that case it will give error. Okay, in order to perform concatenation, first and second argument, okay, operand should be of type string. So on that case, this type of statement that leads to ambiguity that result in a error. Okay, that thing you have to remember. So moving to next concept. So we have one more, that is star that act like a repeat operator. So here plus is acting like a concatenation operator, star act like a repeat operator. That means, so I have mentioned first argument as string, after that star, after that this. So this says, so this first operand or this string operand should be repeated for how many times? 5 times. On that case, so this message alias is going to repeat for how many times? 5 times. Similarly, add symbol. So this add symbol has to repeat for how many times? 5 times. But here it is giving. Okay. Let us see. Yeah, now it has executed. Okay, this add symbol has to repeat for how many times? 5 times. Similarly, you can mention any symbols. Here I am mentioning dollar. Dollar has to repeat for how many times? 5 times or 10 times we will consider. So it has repeated for how many times? 10. So for the star generally it will use it for multiplication, multiplying two operands. But when we are going to mention first argument as a string and second argument as an integer, on that case, star will act like a repeat operator. The operand first operand will be repeat for 10 times. Moving to last concept, variable name. A good variable name describes data what it contains. Imagine that we have moved to a new house, okay, and label all of your movies box as stuff, and you had never find anything. Most of these books, example like Python's documentation, use the generic variable names like spam, x, bacon, which come from Monty Python or spam's sketch. But in your program, descriptive name will help make your code more readable. Let us take a few example here. Okay, so whenever we are going to choose a particular name for variable, that variable should describe what type of data it contains. So here, though we can name our variable almost anything, but Python does have some naming restriction. So whenever we are going to choose a particular name for particular variable, we have to follow a set of rules. So first rule is it can be only one word with no space. So we should not include any space within names. And it can use only letter, numbers, and underscore. So variable name can contain a special symbol which is underscore. And apart from underscore, we are not allowed to use any special character within name. And it should not begin with a number. Let us see few valid variables here. So this is valid because the underscore is allowed, but here we are using minus. Because of that reason it is invalid. So even it is possible for us to use capital letter also, but here we are using space. Because of that reason it is invalid. Here we can use a number also, but it can be used at the end. Here variable name is starting with number. Because of that reason it is invalid. So here it is started with underscore. After that we can use number, but here we have only number. Because of that reason it is invalid. So here variable name is totally it is in capital letter, that is also allowed. But here we have used a special character which is dollar, which is not allowed. So again here hello. So this is valid one. So but here we are using some special characters like so quote. So quotes is not allowed for a variable. We should not use even quotes also. So these are the rules which we are going to follow when while choosing name for variables. And one more thing, Python is a case sensitive. Python is a case sensitive that represents, so capital letter is spam, and first letter S is capital, rest of the PAM are lowercase letter. Here S is small letter, P again capital, A small again, M cat, all represent different variable that represent. So Python is a case sensitive. Okay. So this makes end of this lecture too. So in this lecture we have studied how to make an interaction with interpreter. So after that we have studied math operator from highest to lowest precedence, and we have studied three data type of Python. One is integer, second one is float, third one is string. And we have studied string concatenation. So plus act like a concatenation operator and star act like a repeat operator, or we can say replication. So finally we have studied variable name, how to assign a name for Python variable. Thank you.